pregnant over 35. I want to talk about self-care in pregnancy, mental self-care in pregnancy. So, as you know, I am really big into mental wealth. And I will tell you that one of the things that I don't think enough people talk about is like their mentality during pregnancy. A lot of people focus on postpartum depression, which of course that comes for some women, and I will tell you I've suffered through it, and maybe in a future video we'll talk more about that. But today I just want to talk about like big things that I feel, especially having a child after 35, you need to have some thick skin and develop some grit, because some of the things that are going to be said to you or some of the things that you're going to have to endure is going to be a little bit frustrating. And I will tell you like this. So honestly, me and my husband, if you watch the previous video, the commentary at the end of that video will tell you where I was in, my mindset about having more kids. And so I am literally 2 years shy of 20 years in the United States military. And so my biggest thing was we had completed our family, so I thought, right? And I wasn't really thinking that we were going to have another little one. But I'm a firm believer that God makes no mistakes, right? And so what ended up happening as we, took on this sixth little person into the family journey is I went through a lot of things that just made me feel like, dang, like they don't really care. And I say they as just the way people would treat you and the things that you're going to have to be healthy in your mindset to deal with. And so I think one of the ones that was really frustrating was people know I have a big family. I'm a blended bonus mom, advocate, that's my peeps and everything, and serving in the military. My husband's military, I'm military, and we're later in our careers. And so one of the things that I wasn't really prepared for was the conversation about having a child over 35. Because to be honest, I'm like, shoot. There's a lady that had a baby in her 70s in India, her first child. And I don't understand why you talking to me like, oh, ma'am, well, since you're 35, you got to take this, you got to take this. And it was like this laundry list of things that they wanted me to take. And I'm like, because I'm 35, or are you telling me this stuff because it's something I need? And so that kind of got me really frustrated. And I was under the impression that, heck, this was kind of like when people usually would have kids, I think, I mean, yeah, I had kids earlier in my 20s. And I know people have had kids earlier than that, but I really wasn't prepared for that conversation. I'm going to talk to you about, different medicines and different ideas and all these things, and you gotta sit there like, okay, but is it really necessary? And you're gonna have to be your own advocate when it comes to having a child. My husband is a very big supporter, but it's nothing like advocating for yourself and kind of doing your own research. So there were things during this pregnancy that happened. I was very nauseated. I had to take medicine for that. They were telling me that to some degree, you are a higher risk for preeclampsia, and it's just so many things. And I'm like, man, I done this about 3 other times and had 3 beautiful children. And so for me, I'm like, make that make sense. So let me put another battery in here. I had to put another battery in, which is why I need to invest in myself, all right, and get a continuous battery. But at any rate, another thing for me was, maternity shoot, right? So I had a dope maternity shoot, and right now I'm waiting for the pictures and everything. So I'll tell y'all about that in another video. But like, whew, like the exhaustion that you feel having a maternity shoot and realizing like, dang, man, like you got to get all creative and things like that, but just having fun and stuff. And I guess like when I did it earlier in my life and everything, it wasn't, even 3 years ago, it wasn't that much exhaustion. So if you're going to do your maternity pictures, do your maternity pictures probably like early in your 8th month, maybe even at the latest, like mid 8th month. Don't be like me. I did my pictures, I think I was Matter of fact, it was last week. So it was like 35.6 weeks pregnant, and I was exhausted. But I will tell you that I had so much fun getting all dialed up because, it's kind of like not something I always do and things like that, but it was pretty cool and stuff. So I will tell you that was kind of like something that I wasn't really prepared for. Even though I've been to maternity shoots, or I've been in the maternity pictures, I guess I just, wasn't really prepared. And, I had like really good support channel from my friends to my husband. So in saying that, being 35 and having a kid and doing maternity shoots and getting ready and picking out outfits and yada 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 yada, it gets to a point where you just like, all right, okay, how can I like mentally stay sane? And so I would tell you that is one of the things that I think for me, I wasn't really prepared for, that kind of threw me for a loop. People say the craziest stuff. You get stuff like, dang, you about to burst. Do I look like I'm about to burst? I don't think I'm about to burst. But people say stuff like that, like burst, like, or you about to pop. And so I would tell you, be prepared for the comments. Be prepared for people to say, dang, you all right? Dang, you should be a pro at this. You've had your third or fourth kid. It doesn't matter how many kids you have. Know this. At the end of the day, every pregnancy is different. So I just wanted to come online and talk about that real quick. So as you know, tap that subscribe button and don't be a bag of struggles. Peace. Wonder why you want me by your side, like all the time. You want my love all night.